Healing is something I'm sure you take for granted whenever you're playing through Fallout, whether it be from sleeping, Stimpaks, food items, or healing at a doctor. That's why today I wanted to see if you can beat Fallout New Vegas without using Stimpaks. Of course, first things first, I had to make a beautiful character, and then steal as much as I could from Doc Mitchell before heading off to start assigning my specials. Of course, I would need a bunch of endurance this run, as, can't really heal with anything besides a Stimpak, and I went with guns, sneak, and speech for my tag skills, skilled and trigger discipline for my traits. I know, what a shocker. Off to Chet, and I got to sell pretty much all my Stimpaks early on, which was worth a good amount of caps. I'm not used to having that many extra right off the bat, so I bought an assortment of weapons and ammo for weapons that I already had, and headed out to do the tutorial with Sunny Smiles so that I could do the Ghost Town gunfight quest. Of course, to start that, I needed to go in and blow Joe Cobb's head off with a shotgun. Once that was done, I went up to talk to Ringo to start the quest line proper, and he told me that he needed help from the townspeople. So after getting Sunny and Trudy to agree to help me, I went back to Ringo and was able to start fighting the powder gangers, who were pretty much a pushover considering I just used a grenade launcher. Also, one of them got blown up with a flamer right in front of me. After stealing pretty much everything off of everyone's body and getting my payment from Ringo, I headed off towards Prim and of course got into a fight with some more powder gangers who I had pissed off about 5 minutes previously. I wanted their loot anyways, so it didn't really matter with me. I did nearly get crippled right away and the textures were being kind of weird, but off to Prim to continue the murder spree because everyone here had either experience, loot, or both. Once I had gotten done killing people outside, I decided to steal from the now recently deceased sheriff because I figured he wouldn't mind me taking his items. I don't think he's going to be using them anymore. I also decided I was going to go ahead and just murder a bunch of the civilians inside the Vicky and Vance casino before heading off towards the Bison Steve Hotel, but not before I beat Prim Slim to death with a butter knife. Of course, I had to use a butter knife, it's a staple of the runs now. But back to the Bison Steve Hotel, the convicts in here were pretty annoying. I just took it slow and steady because I didn't really want to waste too much healing, so I spammed the copious amount of dynamite that I'd somehow accrued up until this point to kill off a lot of the convicts before swapping to some more conventional weapons to finish off any that the dynamite didn't. I did nearly get hit with an incinerator though, which was pretty fantastic. I of course went and saved Deputy Beagle because he deserves nothing better. That's not a lie, I swear. And then of course got interrupted by Malcolm Holmes right when I was about to get into a fight with some raiders. I'm not sure how he found me this early, which is kind of concerning. He's learning. I dealt with him the only way I know how before getting into a scuffle with some of the raiders along the road stop on my way to Mojave Outpost. I figured they would be good for experience and of course some upgraded weaponry along the way, as I would be needing as much help as I could get this run considering, no Stimpaks. The door told me a nice fuck you, so I decided to blow up everyone inside and cripple myself in the process. The textures were a bit bugged up at Mojave Outpost, which that's something that'll pretty much plague me the entire run. I'm still not entirely sure what happened to the textures. One of my mods was apparently having a conflict according to one of the people in chat. Also, I did stream this entire thing live. I did find a rad scorpion that was having a bit worse of a day than I was, so ignoring that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the game crashing on me, which was actually really bad this run. I had about 5 or 6 different crashes, which was pretty bad for me normally, considering New Vegas maybe only crashes once per playthrough for me on a challenge run. Sometimes I don't get crashes at all. But ignoring that, we're heading off towards Hidden Valley and of course the Centaurs for easy experience, and you know it, I'm gonna go kill Tabitha because that is just a crazy amount of good experience, no pun intended, right at the beginning of the game, and I needed anything that I could get this run. Which is why I also decided to blow up the Nightkin Sniper that had the Annabelle unique missile launcher, which would actually come in handy later. I also decided I was going to stop and just murder a bunch of robots at Repcon HQ on my way. I'm not entirely sure why, but Twitch chat thought it was funny, so I killed most of them and then traded with a traveling merchant. There wasn't a lot here that interested me, however, so I just pretty much sold off whatever I didn't need and moved on to killing civilians because they had cool armor. I did pick up a hunting rifle from one of the Nightkin snipers, which was actually very useful in killing civilians to get myself some nice Mark II combat armor. Of course, next up on the list was the gunrunners because they have my favorite assortment of weapons. It was at this point that Twitch chat decided that I would be using mostly cowboy weapons for the run, so a lot of the footage that got cut out, which, you can watch the full thing, I actually do have it up on YouTube as well, if you guys are interested in that, is me using mostly the trail carbine and a couple other cowboy-themed weapons like revolvers, the lever-action shotgun, etc., etc. By the end of the run, I did kind of stop that because the weapons just weren't cutting it, because I needed a little bit more firepower for some of the heavier-hitting enemies like the Centurions or the Brotherhood members, but that didn't stop me from putting a revolver round in Old Ben's head twice. I'm not sure how he survived the first shot, but then again, how did the courier survive a shot to the head anyways? Off to killing the Omertas, who didn't put up much of a challenge. I, resorted to my handy-dandy grenade launcher a lot during this run. Explosives actually became a good friend to me this run. I, other than crippling myself a couple times, was really enjoying the fact that I could just blow everyone's limbs off. Benny was about the same as usual. I just convinced Swank to send him up to his room, and then I killed him in the best manner that I thought was fit. I'm not entirely sure how he survived 2 full missiles, but we're gonna ignore that and move on. At this point, after killing Vulpus, I decided that I was gonna go off and just start killing a bunch of other random people as well. That's why I decided to stop by the White Gloves and murder a bunch of them as well. Don't know why, I just decided that I wanted to kill people. So, after killing pretty much anyone that got in my way in there, including, Mortimer and all the regular people that I need to kill, I wasn't actually siding with Yes Man at this point in the run, so I wasn't sure why I decided to stop here and kill people. I guess I just needed to satisfy the murder hobo in me on this run, so I murdered pretty much everyone in my way in there. Also, speaking of who I'm siding with, at this point I had pretty much picked the NCR, but that didn't work out, and we'll get to that later, don't you worry. So I murdered absolutely everyone. I've said that pretty much as many times as I need to now, so we're going to move on to Mr. House and the Securitron upgrade, which I didn't really care too much for, but I just spent time bullying my chat and moved on. Once that was done, and I had gotten ear-raped by the missiles because my audio was too loud, I decided to kill Mr. House with the butter knife for transgressing upon my eardrums, which was, pretty fitting for him to die that way. I did also get rid of the butter knife after that. Sadly, I would not be using it more this run. It can happen, I'm sorry. We'll do something else with the butter knife eventually, I promise. I'm thinking maybe we do Lonesome Road with the butter knife. I'm sure it'd be interesting to watch me try to fight Deathclaws with a butter knife, so maybe that'll be a future video idea. Also, speaking of video ideas, while I'm killing raiders in the background, let me take a moment to apologize for not uploading for a couple weeks. I took a little bit of a break to do some streams because I actually started my content creation with Twitch and doing streams, albeit it was on other games. My Twitch audience has been kind of sad that I haven't really been doing streams lately because I took a couple months off of that to focus on YouTube, so I decided I was going to take a little bit of a break to focus on some streams, which is why I actually recorded this entire challenge live and streamed it. So if you are interested in that, you can actually watch the entire uncut run, which is pretty interesting. It's just more of me talking to other people or myself while playing through the game instead of commentating over it. But ignoring that, I did take a little bit of a break, and then, the holidays came around. My birthday is a couple days before the 4th of July, so I took that off, and then, 4th of July is pretty busy with family events and stuff, so I took that off as well. But I'm a little delayed on getting this out, and then the new PC, my editing software wasn't working properly, and I had to go fix that with technical support, blah, blah, blah. It was just a lot of, issues that caused me to delay the video a bit, but I should be back on a better schedule now, and I apologize for that. But thank you guys for sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video at the very least. And I'm not entirely sure what challenge I want to do going forward. I don't know what the next video is going to be, although I do want to start branching out and maybe doing some non-Fallout challenges. So if you've got any ideas for games that you would like to see me play through, or any challenges for specific games, feel free to let me know. I would actually be interested in hearing what games you guys would be interested in. I'm not entirely sure what I want to pick. I want to do maybe some Cyberpunk or some stuff like that, but I really am kind of strapped for ideas on what games to do. It's not that I don't have challenges, because there's a lot of challenges I can apply to other games, like doing, damageless runs or things like that. It's just I need to know what games to do them on. So if you guys have any games that you're interested in seeing, please let me know in the comments below. Anyways, at this point, I've moved on to murdering the Great Khans, who died about as easy as you would expect, considering I had a missile launcher. I killed everybody in the longhouse with one missile, and then somebody outside got in my way, so I just put a sniper round in the back of his head. His body flopped over and let me know that he enjoyed that. That was a, pleasure spasm. So with the Great Khans dealt with, which, was probably the easiest run I've had with them, I headed back to Cassandra Moore, who told me that the Great Khans were not dealt with. So instead of me just going back and rechecking to make sure that I slaughtered everyone, I picked the next best route, which was just killing a bunch of soldiers. Yeah, I could have handled this better, but you know what? I was pretty annoyed because this quest with the NCR glitches for me almost every single time that I do the NCR run. Very rarely do the Great Cons actually work whenever I'm doing an NCR playthrough, so I either have to console command it or give up and go do Yes Man, Mr. House, or the Legion. I don't like the Legion, and Mr. House is dead, so it's off to Yes Man to talk to him and start doing his questline. Which, next up on the agenda, since I pretty much killed everyone else, was the Brotherhood of Steel. Actually, the Brotherhood of Steel is all I have left. Now, don't get your hopes up. I'm not going to be doing the entire bunker, because that's just torture, considering I don't have Stimpaks, and I keep crippling myself with my own explosives. Doctor bags are okay because they don't heal you, but I was also doing another rule during this challenge of no chems. I wasn't really allowed to use anything. No Psycho, no Med-X, no Radaway, no Rad-X, nothing. I was pretty much just using doctor bags or food items to heal. So back after Yes Man, inserted himself into Mr. House's tight mainframe, I moved on to the Dorado Substation. Well, that's kind of half true. I was going to go to the fort, but I got kind of lazy at this point. It was pretty late when I was streaming this part of the run, and I didn't feel like doing any extra effort, so I went to 188 Trading Post to buy some supplies, but everyone there hated me because I had just committed massive war crimes against the NCR, so I killed a couple ants and then headed off to deal with the Dorado Substation, where a Brotherhood scout, even though I had just slaughtered pretty much his entire family, was there to help me deal with an NCR Ranger. I also got jumped by a hit squad right outside. So, using my handy-dandy missile launcher, which I have come to love, I absolutely love the New Vegas missile launchers, whether it be Annabelle or just the regular missile launcher. I think they're probably one of my favorite explosive weapons in Fallout, including all the games. Some people are going to say the Fat Man's better, but you know what? I like the missile launcher more. Fight me. Anyways, back to Good Springs. Everyone was hostile for some reason, so I killed all the people there. Nobody would barter with me, and I wanted more healing items before heading on to the Battle of Hoover Dam, so I went to the Grub and Gulp, where everyone was also hostile to me. But you know what? Free XP and free loot. I gave up on accruing more healing items and just headed to the second Battle of Hoover Dam. The Centurions were kind of annoying here, but I had stocked up on a good amount of explosives at this point, so I wasn't entirely too worried about it, as I could just, kill them with explosives. The lever-action shotgun was starting to kind of poop out a little bit here, which is, kind of why I said earlier I was going to start using some other weapons, because I couldn't really commit to using bad weapons against enemies that take so much damage to go down when I really can't take much damage myself, considering I can't really heal. And, the whole healing over time thing really hurts in the middle of a firefight, because like this situation where I nearly died almost immediately, I got jumped and had to heal up very, very slowly. But I did manage to make it to the Legate's camp. I think I died about 2 or 3 times there, and Twitch chat decided to make me quickscope a couple of the Legion guards, which wasn't all that bad. The Legate got cyberbullied into fighting me one-on-one and then ran away almost immediately. I almost used a thing of turbo before I remembered that I wasn't allowed to use chems this run, so I went back to deal with the Legate, who I promptly tried quickscoping multiple times because chat was yelling at me to do so, and that failed. He kept running away, my head was crippled at this point, and once he decided to fight me, he crippled both of my arms almost instantaneously, which made aiming a bit of a hassle, but he did go down easy enough. The NCR arrived, and General Oliver was annoying me, so I just decided to use a missile launcher and kill off pretty much everybody in 1 second. After that, I talked to Yes Man, and I proved that yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas without Stimpaks. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate you guys for hanging out and watching me during stream if you were there, and I appreciate you guys showing support on the channel. It's awesome to have you guys here, and I'm glad to be back making content, so I hope you guys enjoy it. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.